Good morning. Got another one that's requested here. Kind of a question that a few people have had as to whether Fixer could have actually beaten Ace. So this is a remake of Ace. I actually had accidentally overwritten him and Leos on another save. So this is a remade version of him. Pretty much his rifle got replaced with the more or less equivalent in later 3rd gen. There's the kind of blocky one. It's pretty much your basic, high power, high ammo rifle. It's not the same as his original, 60 shots of pure friggin' stun and pain, but it's, it's good. Same blade as before, though, again, he doesn't really like to use it. The AI is awful with energy conservation. I tried switching him over to the dagger blade there. It just ended up looking a little funky, so whatever, just left him with it. His chain guns are placed with assault rockets, and I experimented with replacing his grenade launcher in the way that he uses it anyway. He likes to attack from the air, and I experimented with replacing it with the 9-shot missiles like I did with Leos, since again, the purpose is generally the same, it's just high damage, high heat kind of thing. When I had the two Leoses fight it out, or not Leoses, but the two Arcadias fight it out, this one actually wound up a lot more effective. The way that he ends up flying around, he ends up being a lot more accurate with large rockets, so finally just ended up begrudgingly leaving him with these. I don't like replacing it with large rockets, to be honest. I really prefer when the missiles work, but it is what it is. Yeah, let's see if Fixer could have had a much better role. Personally, I think he could have. Ooh, and especially if they're starting at this map. So neither one has a radar, so they may both be a little derpy here. This is the ECM level, more or less. There's just constant interference, so their AI might break, their locks will break. In general, they're gonna have a bad time. And yeah, the reason I replaced his chain gun with assault rockets instead of something else, he typically just used them as a pressure weapon, so these did the job pretty well. I have him using the Birdie 2s as far as boosters go, since again, he likes to drain through his energy a lot, and these allowed him to fly as well as he did in 3. He's just about as quick. I couldn't get him to do the same vertical kind of looping sort of situation, but again, that's more of an OPI trick than anything else. So I'm gonna turn that off real quick so that we don't have all that constant beeping, because the interference here is endless. Right. We don't have any idea what the APs are, but I have a feeling that that Ace is currently winning by a little bit. Fixer's definitely got the damage advantage though, because of the Selena core. Has always been friggin' amazing. I mean, personally, I love that thing even on lightweights, just because of the sheer damage it does. I mean, if you go to AC3, you get the heavy EO core, you get the 1000 MG and a spread howitzer. It's just like the scary wall of everything that anything can possibly be weak against. Fantastic. So I upped the frame skipping a little bit. It leaves it a little more janky. You know what? At least it isn't constantly cracking. So this seems to be an improvement, if you ask me. Alright, so he's still got his rifle. Fixer's out of his handgun, which, of course he is. Thing's only got like 80 shots in it. And let's take a look at the ammo counts here. Or AP counts, rather. Well, currently Fixer's in the lead. I will say that this map is currently favoring Ace, since he doesn't have to actually aim for his large rockets. And yeah, he typically only starts using his blade once he's already purged his weapon, so it gives him enough energy recovery to just constantly use it. I've tried swapping out his internals and swapping out the blade and all that, but he still just goes all the way down on his drain, so anything other than the weaker blades they don't really end up using a lot of the time. Oh, alright. I guess with that last slash, Ace managed to pull it out. Yeah, you can see right here on the very end of the graph, that very last cut put him just slightly switched the fight. Alright, that's fine. 1 to Ace. But he's got to actually be able to do that consistently. And there's his problem.
Test match. Single mode. Stand by.
Yeah, Ace is cool. He's not one of the harder ones, I think. But that's mostly because of his frame. I mean, he's already kind of cheating, friggin' overweight and using cannons and stuff. But if they ended up just going full bore and switching him to a proper midweight instead of a light midweight, it would have been a bit of a different story. Alright. So he's missed with a lot of his large rockets, he's missed with a lot of his assault rockets. He's just missing everything in general right here. I don't know if he just can't keep up or what. Yeah, he's getting danced around, what the hell? Come on, Fixer. Kinda rooting for you, actually. That's the thing with these Moonlight builds, though. All it takes is one slash to change the fight. Even if they don't use them right until the very end. And I've looked around, there didn't seem to be any advice anywhere on, what to tweak to actually get them to conserve more of their energy. Nothing that I did seemed to really do it. Except for stuff like telling them to be less conservative about it. Which made them save it some of the time, but then basically they just didn't care if they flew, went flying through the air and went straight into charging. So it is what it is. Alright. So Ace is barely winning it right now. But there's only a minute left. It looks like it's about to be switching around. Now, with how, with his flying through the air and his flying forward, and he's doing a pretty good job of actually dodging all the missiles, too. Come on, Fixer. Fix him. Well, I might not have enough time, actually. Still within 700 AP here. Oof. Alright. Ace is winning it. Other than... Oh, never mind. Okay, there's a chance. There's a chance here. Alright, what are you gonna do about this, Fixer? I've got none of your points into enemy awareness, so probably nothing. So enemy awareness, by the way, is just basically assessment of the other guy's situation. Which basically, as far as I understand, comes down to if they're, overheating, they try to get those last few hits in. If they're charging, they try to punish them for being on the ground. I'm going to the completely wrong part of the menu here. So it's kind of situationally useful. Honestly, it seemed like a bit of a dump stat in most cases. It didn't particularly work out there. And I've been told it's decent for bladers and things like that. But I've tested it out a few times, and it just seems like Seems like they get a little more aggressive when the other guys are weak, but they still end up missing with their blades and all that, so they still only take situational cuts. Oh, crap, he is pissed. Like, man, I'm not losing 3 rounds in a row. He's like ripped off half of him, sliced him in the air. Oh, jeez. He's not even fighting back. What's going on? Oh, he's trying to use his rockets. That's what's going on. But it looks like Fixer outturns him. Alright, never mind. He's caught up. Got a slash in of his own. Right, come on, Fixer. These missiles aren't gonna do jack, buddy. I say as they end up all hitting all of a sudden. All you need to do is slash him. Or get your Selenas out. Alright, so he needs either 1 slash, 2 missile hits, or 1 shot from either one of his core parts. Come on. Do it. Yeah, once again, I love Fixer's design, similar to the reason I love rotations. It's like the whole pack as many guns on it as possible kind of situation. What are you doing, you fool? Get your cores out. Oh, are you kidding me? Alright. I'm gonna call that a tie. Because that was kind of derpy. Yeah, we're calling that a tie. Seeing if he can actually pull out those 2 other rounds. And if he can actually win 2 fights in a row now, then we'll have the actual tiebreaker. Apparently we're going to the mushroom base. The LSD factory, whatever we want to call it this time. Jesus. These effects. But I think the reason that Fixer didn't end up finishing him off... Ooh, alright. He's about to eat it. Oh, jeez. Come on. Get him. Get him. So yeah, I think the reason that he didn't end up finishing him off is simply because he didn't have enough energy to do it. Because he's got a pretty decent pool, but he recovers pretty much enough to keep on moving later on. So I'm pretty certain that's what happened there. Again, I can't really switch over to his view right now to check. Alright. Finish him. And again, he also might have just been waiting for them to recharge. Right, don't do a repeat of last time, that's all you gotta do. Break out the pistol, finish him off, and you're done here. What are you jumping around for? What, do you just not want to take his title? Is that the deal? Like, no, I'm gonna feel bad. I like my spot in the low part of the arena, then I can just keep punishing newbies all over and over. Alright. So that is, that's a 1 to Fixer. Yeah, Nope, never mind, they're back here again. Yeah, let's have a fight in a furnace. This is a good idea. Oh, look at that. The sound went away. How nice. Okay, so far, it looks like Fixer should be leading it. just took a large rocket. That might be it. And they're still tied up. And he caught up. Caught up that slash. And you guys are doing alright. Come on, Fixer. That slash about? I don't even know how you expect it to hit there. So, the Arcadia must be charging. Yeah, Ace is winning it slightly right now, but he's still got his rockets. And it looks like Fixer's probably out of steam, at least a little bit here. No, he's getting at least a quarter of his missiles in. Okay, Ace is... no, he's gonna have enough shots. Yeah, well, alright, I guess Ace keeps his title.